Hey everybody, welcome to Social Psychology. All right, so want you to make sure that you open up the PowerPoint. I don't know, I think it was called. What's it called? It's called Welcome to Social Psychology. All right, that's a good name for it. So I want you to open that one up, and lo and behold, Welcome to Social Psychology. So let me very briefly go through a couple of things. The traditional beginning, of course, things. I'm Dr. Brown. I got a bachelor's degree and a master's degree from the University of Wisconsin at Oshkosh. Um, Finished up at Oshkosh and then ended up having to go out to New York for my PhD. So went out to Long Island for 5 years. It was quite an experience, that's for darn sure. After getting my PhD out in Long Island, I got a postdoc at Carnegie Mellon University in artificial intelligence, cognitive modeling. There's interesting stuff, very, very cool. Not exactly social psych. After that, I spent 4 years at Missouri State University and was a assistant professor there. And after 4 years at Missouri State, I decided, you know what, I don't really Missouri. I know I got jokes about Missouri, but I'm biting my tongue. So after that, I came down here to Texas, and I've been in Texas for almost 10 years as a associate professor in psychology. So I've been around Texas for quite some time. Who am I? Take a look at the slideshow. I moved on. You should move on, right? So taking a look at the slideshow here, you can see here's my family. Look at that. I guess that's kind of an older picture, but anyway, I've been married for 18 years. I got two kids, Adil and Joel. It's and I'm in an international marriage. She's from Korea originally, and it's definitely opened my eyes. We'll come to it many, many times in this semester, but we find that throughout psychology and all of psychology, most of your courses, pretty much the material is designed as American people would present it. And social psychology is particularly different. That is to say, the way American people view social psychology is not the same way that people in other parts of the world view social psychology. So the rules are different in different parts of the world. So we're going to go through social psychology and learn some of it. And primarily, this is, in fact, a course which should be called Social Psychology of American People. But we will make sure to stop and talk about those points where really the rules change on the other side of the globe. And this marriage I'm in has definitely opened my eyes to all of those places. So my office hours, and I know it's not a traditional classroom, but still I have office hours and they're for you. Come on in. I'm a morning kind of guy. The best time to really find me is 8 a.m. You want to find me? 8 o'clock. You know what the beautiful thing is? We can talk and nobody bothers us. So if you need to see me, that's the best time. But I know. 8 o'clock. Can't do it. Whatever. So I also have office hours Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 to 1, and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 to 9. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, it depends on meetings, it depends on whatever, but I'll probably be around afternoon as well. But I can't promise it because meetings and committees and nonsense. Um, I kind of pretty much have an open door policy. If I'm there and you're there, knock on the door. In the worst case scenario, I'll say I'm busy, but you know what? Come find me. Sending me emails. I turned off the email inside of Blackboard because it's a terrible email system. So emailing and messaging for our course or contacting for our course will in fact use the email which the university has given you. My email address, jbrown06 at txwest.edu. I respond pretty quick to that most of the time. You can call me on my phone at the office, 817-531-4867. Um, but if you say call me back, you're not going to get a call back. So it's just not professional. Dr. Brown, you got a record of calling her 7 times. Woo! No, I ain't messing with that. So I will not call anybody on their phone. That's just really gets me in the wrong. Ain't going there. So if I do need to get a hold of you, I will be sending messages through the email which is in Ramlink. for the majority of you, that is at txwest.edu. Once I hit the send button, I assume you have now received that email. Okay. So if I send, you can't come back to me and say, I didn't get it, because once I hit send and it's a RAM mail address, I did my job. Okay. But everything is written in the syllabus, so it shouldn't be too much of a surprise. What's the books? Yeah, the textbook. This is Myers's social psychology book. It's been around for quite some time. What is it? 11th edition there. It's a very readable book. It doesn't, it's not a real heavy academic textbook. It's engaging. It really is very, very well written. I like it. We'll be having other readings as we go, because social psychology is so related to modern life. It's so related to current events. It's related to everything. So we will be having a lot of other readings as the semester goes on. Okay. If you see readings from the news, if you see news sites, or hey, if anybody knows me at all, it's like NPR. You listen to NPR in the morning, and half the time you're going to find at least one story related to social psychology. So keep your ears open, keep your eyes open. Let me know. I mean, I'm glad to share it around. What are the goals of this course? As some of you may or may not know, depends on how many of my courses you've taken, the psychology department has committed themselves to the goals of the American Psychological Association. The American Psychological Association put out a list of goals. There's actually five goals with different skills within the learning objectives or something. But these are, according to the American Psychological Association, the 5 sets of skills that you should have. If you're going to be graduating with a degree in psychology and you want to say, I'm an educated psychology major, these are the 5 sets of skills that you should have. And it's a very, very, very interesting document, very engaging. Meanwhile, in our psychology department, we've committed ourselves to this document to ensure that every course that you take is somehow aligned with those goals. So as we see on this slide here with all of the purple and blue and stuff, that this particular course is designed to give you exposure to four of those 5 goals. Okay, what am I reading? Knowledge based in psychology. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of memorization. Scientific inquiry and critical thinking. Yeah, it's pretty cool to think about uh, to scientifically disentangle these experiences and figure out why they happen. Very, very cool. Ethical and social responsibility in a diverse world. We're going to be having some discussions of again, international issues, but we're also going to be talking about the ethics of some of the research, in particular, some of the big baddies like Phil Zimbardo's study and Stanley Milgram's study. So some of the social psychology experiments provided the framework for modern ethical thinking in psychology. And finally, professional development, because as we'll be talking, the last 3 chapters of the textbook are all about applications of social psychology, different places that social psychology can be applied in the real world. And our text will cover, what was those 3 chapters? Social psychology and the clinic, social psychology and the legal system, I believe it was. And then the last one, which sounds a little odd, but it's social psychology and the sustainable environment. Oh, kind of cool. But anyway, different ways that social psychology is applied in real world settings. All right, here we go into the nitty gritty of the course. First thing is a behavioral contract. Now, this is an online course, and this is the first clue that it's an online course, right? Well, I trust you. I really do. But, you know what? Just in case, I want you all to sign a behavioral contract. No, there's a lot of things in that contract, and they're just the standard rules, right? The rules for this course are the same as rules for the classroom, okay? So in particular, well, no cheating, but you know what? Just like in a regular class, you write your own papers. Guess what? Tests and quizzes, just like in the classroom, are not open book. When you take your tests, or in this case, there's no quizzes per se, there's 4 tests. When you take your tests, There is no open book. You can't talk to somebody else. You can't have somebody else fill it in for you, okay? You can't have somebody else. You can't, all right? When it comes time to taking your tests, your job is when you're ready to take your test, you go into a room, you close the door, you tell everybody in your home, don't bother me for the next hour, and that's it. You got no books, you got no notes, you're not allowed to pull up on the internet, nothing, okay? Exactly the same type of a scenario that would happen if you were doing this in a regular classroom. Okay, so now you're going to need to sign this thing and get it back to me somehow. Now there's a Turnitin link that can be used. There's a Turnitin links up in the assignments folder, or you could take a photograph of it with your phone. You could bring it in and put it in my mail. Whatever. Figure out a way to get the job done. Okay. So I need to have that this week. Okay. That needs to be done quickly. It only takes a moment. Okay. Granted, you have to actually do it, but it just takes a moment. So the end of this week should be just fine. This week, when I say that, I mean Sunday night, January 17th. Gotcha. All right. The material in the course breaks up pretty good into four sections. Four sections. Our course will break up into not quite close. So we're going to have, let's see, the first test will be on social thinking. Four chapters on that? I think so. The second test will be on social influence. And again, that's four chapters. And the third test is on social relations, and social relations is actually five chapters. So the third test will be on four of them. And then we're going to have, as the last test, the application of social psychology, as we already described. Each exam is worth 100 points. Okay. Additionally, there's going to be 7 papers. They're relatively short, like a cover page plus 2 pages, not too long. Each one is worth 50 points. The grades will come out at 90, 80, 70, 60. Okay. Before these tests, and I think they're even posted now, I don't remember, but whatever, there will be study guides. Okay. And these study guides before the test will lay out for you a general area. Let's see, each test has 25 multiple choices and an essay. Okay. Very much like my regular in the classroom exams. And so the study guide will kind of lay out the 25, a little description of these 25 multiple choice items, kind of, well, a study guide, the guide you're studying, right? Kind of tells you a little bit of what they're about. As for the essays, there's multiples that you can choose from. You just got to choose one. And I expect a really good one because it's worth 25 points. I mean, 25% on an exam on a single essay question. They got to be really good. Now, again, you are on your honor here. Remember that behavioral contract, okay? Because here's the deal. During that exam, nothing. Before the exam, take the essay, write it out, explore it. You want to handwrite it, you want to type, do whatever you want. But when it comes time, you're sitting there on Blackboard, and up comes the essay question. That's it. You got your brain and your fingers and your typing. You cannot copy and paste that. All right, that would be cheating. That would be the same as trying to write the essay at home and then bringing it into the test and saying, "Oh, I wrote it in your classroom." No, you didn't. You did that. No. During that time, during that 1 hour period, you do 25 multiple choice and one essay, and you type it on the spot. Okay? So you cannot paste it. You cannot paste it at all. Okay. Missing exams. Oh, it's an online course. I hope you don't miss exams. As you're going to find on the schedule for the syllabus, on the schedule on the syllabus, you got a full week for these exams. I think they basically, the exams, when they come up, they open on Monday, and then they close the coming Sunday midnight. I think that's what I set up. So anyway, you got quite some time between the time they open and the time they. Nobody said you had to wait until midnight on Sunday. They all have to be completed on midnight on Sundays, but you don't have to wait until then. You can do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever you're prepared. whenever you have the ability, because I'll tell you, in an online class, and I know many of you have children, oh my goodness, I hear it right now. The dog is barking and somebody just came home. I'll be surprised if somebody doesn't come barging in this door, okay? So get yourself ready and set it up so at a time when you have 1 hour and nobody's bugging you, okay? 7 papers, again, as I said, they're pretty short, kind of informal. The idea is to get you to not just as the exams learn the material and memorize it and blah blah blah, but to personalize it, to make it relevant to your life. Because my goodness, social of all of the psychology courses, I think you're going to find this one is probably more applicable to every single thing you do in your life, every single day, every single moment. Okay, so I want you to personalize it. These aren't that terribly hard. Take a look at the syllabus. The due dates are on there. And again, I think they're all Sunday at midnight. If memory serves, midnight Sunday. And again, you don't have to wait until 11:52 to write them, okay? Yeah, yeah. In fact, all the assignments are written. I don't want them all right now. Woo, no, I don't want you to write 7 assignments. But the idea is every single one of those is already available to you. So you can look at the ideas, you can think about those ideas, you can already have the paper topic in your mind as you're studying the material and going through the stuff. You're already sort of trickling the ideas in your brain so that it hopefully will give me better paper. Okay. There is a sample paper up there. It is a PDF document that is some fairly well written paper that somebody wrote before you. Uh, I think it's a sample paper 6. I don't remember, assignment 6, but I don't remember. But anyway, I printed it out and then I went through it and I marked it up to show what APA style would look like. Because, yeah, the APA style issues. So take advantage of the sample paper, and anywhere that I wrote something on that sample, make sure your paper has whatever I wrote. Okay. And so what does APA style mean? It means whatever I did, you do it. Okay. So that'll be good. Papers are going to be turned in through the Turnitin links in Blackboard. You'll find in the assignment folder, you'll find like assignment 1 description, assignment 1 Turnitin. So you'll click that link. You guys are clever college students. You'll figure out how to do it. After you turn them in, they get checked for originality, plagiarism, automatically gets checked. And it does a rough grammar check. Yeah, that's not a terrible grammar checker. And then I go through them and I'll grade them and I'll add some comments of my own. After they've been graded, you can then go back and access the papers and see all of the comments. In particular, for things like if let's say on assignment 1 you make an APA style boo boo, fine. I mark it on there. Now assignment 2, the exact same problem shows up. I may mark it again, but I may not. On the third assignment, the same one shows up. I'm like starting to get really annoyed by now. Got it? So the idea is I'm willing to do the work, give you something back. You're supposed to use that, all right, to improve. So take advantage of them. Take a look. I like this next slide. No, this is not an English class. Yes, writing counts. Oh, yes, a lot. Um, Writing always counts. You want to be an educated psychology major. You want to go out there. And, writing counts. Okay, writing always matters. Um, these papers are not like highly rigidly academic. Okay, grammar is huge. Content, yes, of course, content, but grammar and readability. As it says here, when I was in college, I had my mother read my papers. My mother was an educated person, but she didn't know psychology. But it went like this. If mom went to read my paper and mom said, I don't understand, then it was me. My fault, always my fault. Okay? Trust me, I was tempted to say, Mom, what is wrong with you? Nope, not mom, me. So take advantage of something like that. That's that's what you got to do. You got to write for an audience that is educated but doesn't know your topic. Okay? Give me something good. I do not mind grading papers, but I really mind grading shitty papers. Do not give me any, please. Okay? So take advantage of the Academic Success Center. There's the Writing Center in there. Hopefully your first version of a paper is never your last version. Okay? In a perfect, I mean, you've got advanced warning on these papers. I would recommend that you start, if they're due Sunday midnight, you write a first draft on Wednesday, you put it away, and then on Friday you look at it again with fresh set of eyes, and then maybe Saturday you have a spouse or something kind of go through it a little bit and say, does this make sense, so that you're ready to turn it in well before Sunday night. You've not only got a chance to edit it, but you've also had another set of eyes on it. But you know what? Maybe you'll wait till 11:45 on Sunday. Oh, or maybe not. Hey, maybe you'll be good boys and girls. All right, you can earn up to 20 points of extra credit in this course. Okay? There's a variety of things you can do. First off, you can complete the National Institute of Health Ethical Training course. Many of you have and will receive credit for it just because you've already done it in the past. But there is a description of this assignment in the assignments folder, actually. I don't think I put that one in there, but there will be. All right. If you participate in research around the department, that's worth 5 points. If you attend the Maximize Your Major presentations that are related to this course material. Now, they have to be related to this course material. You can't go to Maximize Your Major presentations that are completely outside this ballpark, but most of them relate to social psych because this is a pretty broad field. So those are worth 5 points, but whatever it is, it has to be submitted by dead day. Cheating. Don't cheat. Cheaters suck. I hate cheaters. I will. Remember that behavioral contract. You're on your own. Okay. Course schedule. What can I say? It's an online course. It's up to you. As it says right on the syllabus, on the schedule part, this is my recommendation. And it'll go week by week and say, I recommend in this week you do this. I recommend you do that. The course schedule has due dates. Absolutely has due dates. But it has recommendations. This is, if you want to be on the ball, this is probably what you should do in this particular week. But you signed up for an online course. You signed up for a little bit of extra responsibility. So I think you can do it. All right? You don't have to put it all off until Sunday to study it, right? So look at that schedule. It's a recommended schedule. I think it'll work real well if you stick with it. Okay? And while I'm on it, this is an online course, and even I'm guilty as the instructor. Sometimes we forget that because we got so many other things, and this one isn't like in your face because it's not like, well, at 9 o'clock I have to be in this room. There's no, so sometimes it's easy to forget that you're taking this course. Well, I will try very hard to remind you on a regular basis that you're in this course. All right, I will attempt to send gentle reminders when things are due and things are supposed to happen. But if I do or do not, doesn't matter because it's on you. All right, the schedule is written out, everything is written for you. Even if I don't remember to remind, whatever, still on you. All right, so the schedule is there. I trust you can all stick with it because you're big boys and girls. Blackboard, I like this. I use Blackboard a lot. Yeah, duh, it's an online course. It's all Blackboard. Grades, everything is in there. So be sure that you get into it as soon as possible. Yeah, I don't think you'd be having this presentation if you didn't get into it. Other resources for the course, as I said, there's the study guides up there for the exams. Use them, okay? They are very, very useful, says my students. Students use them in a variety of ways. One way I've seen that I always thought was pretty effective is they'll open up the exam study guide as, it's just a Microsoft Word document. And then what they'll do is they'll look at each multiple choice item and a couple of words that I have given as sort of a prompt or something. And then they'll kind of go through all of the notes in the book and they'll find material that's related to that topic. And they'll maybe write out a paragraph or two of what they know about that particular little prompt that is shown to them. And it's a neat little way to do it. And you do your way, but It worked pretty good. The psych department obviously has a computer lab, which is very useful. I do not recommend it for doing online testing. Okay, too many distractions, too many temptations to break the behavioral contract. My recommendation on test is find a quiet place in your home, close the door, lock the door, keep them all out. But anyway, the psych department computer lab, the Academic Success Center, yes, they really can help. If you have problems with writing, fix it now. The day you graduate, there is nobody there to help you anymore. Okay? You are paying for the Academic Success Center for these tutors. You're paying for it. It's in your tuition. Whether you use it or don't use it is irrelevant. You're paying for it. So you might as well use it. Okay? What would be the point of walking out of college without the skills? Okay? So use the Academic Success Center. If you need it, use it. Oh, that's the end of the show. And so if that's the end of the show, I say grab yourself a syllabus, study that syllabus, figure it out, get yourself ready, turn in your contract, and get going on chapter 1. So I will see you all around next time.